Would I be the arsehole if I asked my wife to stop claiming she was abducted by aliens? I am in a bit of a strange situation with my wife, and I'm at my wit's end. For context, we've been happily married for 5 years, and she's always been into conspiracy theories and UFOs, but it was all in good fun until now. About a month ago, my wife claimed she was abducted by aliens. She described being taken from our bedroom, experiments conducted on her, and then being returned before dawn. She's extremely detailed in her account, insists it's the absolute truth, and has been sharing this story with everyone, our friends, family, and she's even posted about it on social media. At first, I thought it was a joke, but she's adamant. She refuses to consider any other explanation, like a vivid dream or sleep paralysis. She's even started attending meetings with a local UFO enthusiast group. Here's where I might be the arsehole. I work in a scientific field, and I'm concerned about how this might affect my reputation. My colleagues have started making comments, and I'm worried this could impact my career. I've tried talking to her about keeping this private, or at least considering other explanations, but she accuses me of being unsupportive and closed-minded. Yesterday, things escalated. She wants to go on a podcast about alien encounters, and I begged her not to. We had a huge fight, and I ended up sleeping in the guest room. She's now not speaking to me, and I feel torn. On one hand, I want to support my wife, but on the other, this is impacting our lives in very real ways. Would I be the arsehole if I insist she stops telling people about this alleged abduction and seeks professional help instead? Not the arsehole. Unless someone is having some kind of mental health break, these are usually chalked up to sleep paralysis. Her adamance about this is alarming, and if she refuses to stop and get help, she's giving you no choice but to do what's best for yourself. Not the arsehole. This will definitely affect your reputation and your career, and you are right to be concerned. You might also consider that people don't usually stop when they are halfway down the rabbit hole her fantasies are bringing her attention she obviously enjoys. Sooner or later, that attention won't be enough and she'll simply manufacture something else. Barring medical intervention, your happy marriage as you knew it is over. Hopefully you can find a solution that doesn't destroy your own credibility as well. Not the arsehole. But since it sounds like your wife may be struggling with a mental illness, I don't think your own reputation should be your primary concern in this situation. It seems like this is not going to get better, especially with her attending local meetings with other UFO enthusiasts. She will be influenced more and more, and these new people will validate her truth ideas, perceived reality more and more. They will hold much more sway with her than you will. It sounds like she may not be able to believe a therapist either, since she's just so into it all. I have sleep paralysis, sometimes multiple times a week, which is part of a medical condition. Sometimes these visualizations can feel very real and even cause some sort of physical pain. Do I really think the clown from IT made salad in my apartment that one time, or was my sleeping pattern just very irregular? I had issues with REM. Lol. Seriously, I suggest she speak with her doctor about this, as it can cause you to feel a little funky. Sometimes I wake up and can't tell if I'm awake or asleep and have to pinch scratch myself or wait for something wild to happen. So it can feel very real. All the best. Not the arsehole for being concerned, but you can't exactly insist that she do anything. I mean, you could, but aside from possibly being an arsehole, that's not going to have the outcome you're hoping for. She doesn't sound like the type to just stop doing something because you put your foot down. Good luck, my guy. I have no idea what I'd do. Not the arsehole. These delusions need to be nipped in the bud. When I was 10, I saw a UFO through the curtains of my bedroom window. I opened the curtains and it was the McDonald's pizza blimp. Not sure why you're worried about your career or what your colleagues think when your wife is clearly having a mental health issue. I would also say this to people who bring it up to you. It's not funny at all. It could also be a way to explain some past trauma like SA. She really needs to speak to a psychiatrist. You need her to get help. Not the asshole. Unless something changes, it's unlikely your marriage will survive this. Not the asshole. As a tip, you should dress up as an alien while your wife is asleep, then wake her roughly and tell her the alien overlords need her to keep the secret. You can use a Walkman blasting loud music to confuse her. Not the asshole, but this may not be an either-or choice. There are her beliefs, which probably can't be changed, but then there are her public behaviors, which probably can. Does she understand the effects her going public with her beliefs are having on you? Would she be willing to keep her beliefs private to save your career? That's a potential compromise. Maybe a couples counselor might help to see if there's a compromise that allows you to keep both your marriage and your career. But then, if she chooses the groups and podcasts over your career, then maybe you have your answer. I'm sorry, this is a difficult situation. Maybe have the house tested for carbon monoxide. Your co-workers are assholes. Dare scientists write? What analysis leads them to the conclusion that your kooky wife affects anything they have going on? Is your career really being harmed, or are you just embarrassed? I'm actually gonna say you're the asshole. I work in a scientific field, and I'm concerned about how this might affect my reputation. This is absolutely a concern, but it really bothers me that you haven't expressed any concern for your wife or her well-being in your entire post. It's like you're not bothered by her behavior or what she's saying happened to her until it might affect you. You dismiss her beliefs as good fun and don't seem at all worried by what she is saying happened to her. I don't like that. I'd be bloody worried about her well-being in your position. How did I know the comments at the bottom would be so amusing? Not the asshole. She needs help, whether what happened to her was real or not. Just wanna say that your career is completely fine. Folks will make comments, but that's literally it. Especially in the sciences. You might just be the one married to the UFO lady, but that's all. My colleagues have started making comments, and I'm worried this could impact my career. Your colleagues are ours. Tell them that your wife's mental health issues are none of their business and also have absolutely nothing to do with you and your work. Meanwhile, you apparently don't seem to care at all that your wife is going through a thing, you just care about how it makes you look to people with no compassion or empathy. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Your wife is having some kind of mental trouble. Your wife's mental health should take priority over what other career people say. Do you really want to neglect your wife, to appease these people that want to look down on you and your wife for this? You can support your wife without endorsing the delusion that she is having. These colleagues don't sound like good colleagues, and any truly worthy leader in your field would understand that people are human, and mental health issues should not be stigmatized. Don't be the people who lobotomize their family to keep them from acting crazy. You're the asshole, but only because of this. I work in a scientific field, and I'm concerned about how this might affect my reputation. Aren't you worried about your wife? Clearly she's not doing okay. Why is your reputation what's important here? Not the asshole, but I don't know how you move forward with this. I would be taking her to a psych ward. Not the asshole. Question: do you think she has shown symptoms, could be showing symptoms of schizophrenia and/or psychosis? Then this might not be about believing a therapist and more about needing medication for her brain chemicals. Keep in mind that these sort of mental disorders are treatable and of neurological origin. Should that be the case, it might also be worth looking into recommended ways to support a person going through an episode. Your wife is just as responsible for a healthy relationship as you, so, Nata. Not the asshole. I don't understand where you were when she thought she was abducted. Were you sleeping next to her? Does she believe that this happened without you noticing? Not the asshole. Want to support her? Take her to a psychiatrist. But you've kinda already asked her to stop, and she's kinda already told you to pound sand. You seem more concerned about your career than her mental well-being,